Yeah, so I know you have no idea why I'm showing you this, but I'm going to tell you this is one of the most suspenseful moments I've ever had in comic book history. When I tell you I was on the edge of my seat just waiting to see what was going to happen because I kind of knew already what was going to happen, but I didn't know it was going to happen, that happened. But without further ado, y'all, welcome to Reviews from the Six. My name is Cedric, but you can call me Ceddy Said, and today we are reviewing Indigo Children #1. So here, I'll go ahead and tell you how I felt about the story, why I picked up the comic, show you some of the art, and just get into a couple of the details with the characters without spoiling anything for you. So, of course, first things first, we start with the art. So, Indigo, all right, is a purplish, dark blue color, I think, maybe. And I just love the color scheme of this. To me, it seems like we know that this person here may be alive and everyone else is dull and gray and dead, So I kind of just like that aspect of it. I was like, all right, so I got to see why this character is special or what makes that character different from everybody else. And it's kind of like that a little bit, just a tad bit. The story is like that. So, of course, on the back, there's not much. They pretty much tell you what they think about the comic. You know how they hype it up, and then, of course, you have the kid. By the way, his name is Alexi. I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's Alexi on the back. You flip through the cover art. Now, not the cover art, but you can kind of see just what happens here, right? I mean, you can see he's using his magic and his abilities. You see some explosions. Using the abilities again. Now, when it comes to the art, it's not the best, but I tell you what, it worked. When I mean it was just absolutely perfect storytelling art. I don't know if I can make that make sense right now, but literally I could flip through this comic book just looking at the art and I can get the whole story. Or I should say I can put a whole story together based on the art itself. And when I tell you the art has so much action in it, from clip to clip, scene to scene, you're just hooked. You're like, oh, wow. And like I said, the way that it is, it isn't the best art in the world, but it's the way the art is done. It just tells the story itself. And I haven't read a comic book like that in a long time where the art itself just told the story. I could put my own words to this comic book and it would probably be a hit. That's how good the sequences and the scenes are, and the action and the mystery and the suspense. It's the facial expressions for the characters. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get right into the characters here. So you have a couple characters. The main character is going to be Alexi, of course, which is a kid. You kind of start the book, or you start the comic where he's on tape and he's being interviewed by a professor with his mother. And the professor is sitting there telling the mother, hey, I hope you have a very talented and special child here, right? Now, they kind of show before this, right? It's a prologue, I believe it is, with the prologue or an epilogue. I can't remember right now. But they kind of show that Alexi gets on a plane and there's this character, right? And this character, we don't know if it's a power or ability or what, but he has burns on, I believe, the right side of his body. And they kind of show that he was in some type of service, like the military or special forces or something like that. And something happened. But we don't know if it's the ability that's causing these explosions or if he was just caught in an explosion. They don't really say. However, something happens to the plane that they're on, but Alexi sees the history of this man. So now that's fast forwarding to the tape. On the tape, he's pretty much saying, hey, I'm Alexi. I'm intelligent, but I'm not really intelligent as you guys think I am. What it is that I lived a past life. And in that past life, I remember a lot of stuff. And I'm from another planet. I'm from the planet Mars. And he was sent here to prevent the Martian Holocaust. Now, they really don't go into too much detail about the Martian Holocaust. And I won't, just for, spoiler's sake. But he is here to stop a Holocaust. Now, they do kind of show a little bit abilities of Alexi, a little bit. So Alexi can read minds. He's kind of like telepathic. He can push his words into your mind. He really can't push thoughts or anything like that, but he can communicate. Also, he can kind of see the past, He really didn't move things with his mind. So yeah, that says something. And then you have Donovan, right? You have Donovan, who's a journalist. Donovan is actually watching the tape. So with Donovan watching the tape, that's where you kind of get an idea of what's going on. And he's doing research on this kid, and he's trying to find Alexi. Why? Because Alexi is an indigo child, and Alexi has abilities, but the government is hiding children like Alexi with abilities. So he goes on this quest to go find that. With that being said, that takes you on an entire journey, y'all. Like, when I mean it takes you on a journey of, you don't know who's coming after Donovan. You don't know if it's Russian spies. You don't know if it's the government. You don't know if it's the indigo children themselves. You don't know if it's the enemies of the indigo children. But there's a scene here where they enter his apartment and they try to get rid of him. And that in itself was just, the art was like, yo, that's pretty dope. I mean, they use a couple references in there too, where you're like, okay, I get it, right? But yeah, the character Alexi himself just seems pretty cool. Like, he knows who he is, what he is, and why he's here. He's just trying to find more like him, maybe. That's how I'm taking it. But yeah, so anyways, you have the journalist, and I mean, he's just working the channels, right? So he has the tape, and he has to blow the tape up so no one else can watch it, and that's supposed to be secret. So then he starts reaching out to all these different contacts to find Alexi, which he does, right? So he hires the help of like this German or Russian like mob boss, right? Who has connections to everything and everybody. So it's funny because a butcher gets involved in the story after the home invasion, which was pretty cool here. So long story short, he has all these connections and stuff. So he's like, hey, we can find these kids, bro. Like, I know where is he at, because they get tipped off kind of. So he's like, oh, I think I know about that location. Let's go find him. So the guy puts the entire team together to go find it, right? And I mean, you just learn certain things because Donovan is going from person to person and having interview, and they all have like these tactics that they use so the government can't listen in. Like, you have the professor who uses the white noise so they can't hear, right? Which the professor is like really cool because he comes outside with a shotty when he's found, right? And then they have something else that EMP that blocks the can block like cellular devices and anything like that. So you kind of learn a couple devices that's going on in this, or that's being used in this story. So they find the town where the kid is. They go in there, and all of a sudden Donovan is like getting these thoughts, but he can't see this kid, but he can hear him. And the kid leads him all the way to him. And then that's where we end the story, right? Without any spoilers. So as of now, we know that Alexi is like really intelligent, right? That he's very intelligent in math. And that's why the professor is more so, not, I wouldn't say more so, but why the professor works with him, right? But the professor even knows that there's more to him. The professor knows he's an indigo child, right? Donovan kind of knows the same thing. Donovan is like, they're hiding these people. I need to expose them. And that's where we are. So you got them going on together, and then you have the guy who has all the connects together. Like, it's coming all together. Like, a little team is forming, y'all. But Alexi so far, I want to say he's a teenager, maybe like early 20s now, but he does grow up in this comic book series. But what made me get this was one day one of my coworkers asked me if I heard about Star Children, and I was like, no, I never heard about Star Children. He's like, well, they have blonde hair, these special eyes, and they're really intelligent, and they're gifted. And that's exactly what this book is. Now, one of the things that I do like about it, I'm going to show you guys, is that they kind of show them in Egypt, because you see the Sphinx and you see kind of like their abilities here. So, of course, we don't know their full-on abilities, but we do know, like I said, that he's telepathic. He can move things with his mind, and he's very intelligent. So anything of the brain, he can do. But yeah, man, I really enjoyed this, y'all. Like, if you're looking for something that's going to keep you on the edge of your seat, get this. If you're looking for something that's not a boring story, get this. If you're looking for something that's going to have you invested for some time and just have you looking for that next issue, definitely get this. If you're into things like, you know, Egypt, the Star Children, Indigo Children, definitely pick this up. But what I need you to do is down in the comments below, let me know what you think of the Indigo Children issue #1. Have you heard about the Star Children too? I mean, are you interested in picking up #2? Let me know, man. Let me know down below. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button because your vibe attracts your tribe, and something brought you here today. So make sure you stay and hit that button. Also, make sure you share this video to any and all social media platforms, specifically to anyone you think this would be beneficial to. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. And make sure you hit that like button, because if you don't hit that like button, YouTube's algorithm is going to be like, oh no, nobody likes this guy. We're not going to show him any more of his stuff. So yeah, with that being said, y'all, I just want to say thank you for joining me on the review of Indigo Children issue number 1. Peace, love, and blessings.